Shay Caraval. BBC Radio London.
Great to be with you this afternoon. Time is 2:40. Shay here with you until 6 p.m. Now, throughout the show this afternoon, I want to talk about artificial intelligence. There are those people who are really scared of it, those people who are totally embracing it. I mean, I'd like to hear from you on the ways in which AI have perhaps enhanced your life. Let's try and see if we can find some positives here. 0800 731 2000. The reason I'm talking about this is because I was really taken back when I saw that recently more than 1,000 musicians, including Kate Bush and Cat Stevens, it was on Tuesday actually, they released a silent album. So literally the album's been released, all of these artists' names are on it, but there's nothing on it. It is completely silent. And it's to protest proposed changes to Britain's copyright laws. So basically, this would allow AI companies to use material that's available online, but the big but here is they would not need to respect copyright if they are using it for text or data mining. I don't fully understand that, but I know someone who certainly does, and that's why I've asked him into the studio. Joining the studio now with our technology and social media expert and also CEO of Rocket, James Erskine. James, great to have you back on Radio London.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
There's a lot to unpack with this. My first question to you, though, because this is your life. You literally eat, breathe, live technology and social media. What was your reaction when you heard about this silent album being released by over 1,000 musicians?
I'm a huge music fan as well.
Yes.
And it forms a big part of my cultural makeup. And I didn't fully understand why. So
Really?
I've done some research.
Okay.
And I now do understand the issues involved in the reason why this silent album is being created.
Okay.
And it kind of goes like this, Shay. When the AI companies, because you have to look at what AI might be able to do and what AI can already do.
Okay.
First thing to do is to differentiate generative AI with AI.
Okay.
Because AI has always been around. Predictive text is a kind of AI.
I see.
So AI has always been there. And AI has always been in the music industry. When you think about it, Tupac's hologram at a festival a few years ago. When you think about it, Cher's voice changing in, I believe, that's AI. But generative AI is a different thing.
Okay.
It means it can change and create audio. So what that means is you and I could potentially type into a computer, and this can happen now, a style of music and a theme of a song, and AI will create that song for you.
Right.
Now, why is that important for the music industry? Well, it's this. When we are typing in what song we want AI to make for us, we're paying for the computer. We're paying for the electricity. We're paying for the chips in the AI server. But nobody is potentially paying the music creators that are being scraped by the AI tools to generate the intelligence that the AI needs in order to create that music. Now, the rules are relatively simple. In the consultation with the UK government that ended on Tuesday, the day the album came out, the government were proposing that specific musical artists have to opt out of this strategy. Now that, they're saying, is unfair. What they want is they want something that is workable and basically says, if you're going to scrape our musical content, you need our permission or you need to pay us.
It's quite something, isn't it? Because we've talked extensively in the past just around the average Joe, individuals, you know, who are really conscious around their privacy in the world of online, whether it's social media or otherwise. And when we talk about our own personal images, our own data and the way in which that can be used, it's quite something. But it's called the music business for a reason. And the business part is sometimes something, I'll be honest with you, it goes right over my head. James, if I hear an artist, I like the album, I'm buying it. That's how I work.
Right.
You know, and if I love an artist, I want to see them live.
Yes.
And the music stays with me. And you know me, I love to actually have the physical copy, buy the CDs or even the vinyls. But here we are, artists including Annie Lennox, Kate Bush, Damon Albarn, even Sir Paul McCartney, Jamiroquai. I mean, the list is endless here.
1,000 artists.
1,000 artists. They're all saying, well, essentially, in basic terms, if I've made this music, you can't just use it. It's almost like, not that somebody is nicking their music, but essentially taking parts of it without even their permission.
Taking inspiration from it, yes. Not nicking parts of a specific track, but taking inspiration from the music. That will then be ingested by AI.
Okay.
And when AI gets cleverer, literally artificial intelligence, it will get cleverer using the music of these artists. And these artists want to be paid for that. Now, you're also absolutely right to break the music industry down into various different component parts, because if you look at music that's been made, AI can change that. We've already seen examples.
Yes.
A Beatles record that was put together based on old recordings. That wouldn't have been possible without AI. In live music, we're about to have, coming to London, the Elvis Evolution. This is an AI experience. You've already got ABBA Voyage. So AI is having an effect. Music distribution, you could argue whether it's better or worse, but it's changed hugely since it used to be. I mean, we used to wander the aisles of HMV, Our Price and Virgin Megastore looking at the same thing.
And I remember Woolworths, actually.
Completely. Woolworths is a really good point.
Yeah.
Now we have Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music serving us tracks we might like based on AI. So AI is enhancing the music sphere, the world of music, but sometimes artists are thinking that for the creative part, the actual production part, they need to be recompensed, and that's why they're protesting.
Here's my question to you. Fantastic London artist, and I cannot wait to see her performing at the Oscars this coming Sunday evening. She, rightfully so, has received some of her flowers, I would say, at the Brit Awards. And she's been really vocal for some time around artists' rights, but also record labels, the way that she's been mistreated in the past, and essentially being the owner of her music and her voice. Of course, I'm referencing and talking about Ray.
Yes.
And Ray has really, I think, opened a lot of our eyes.
Yes.
You know, those of us that are music fans, as to how a music artist, especially if you're not, let's say, top billing, for example, if you're just emerging in the industry, if you are a singer-songwriter who's starting out, how everything is geared up towards making money, but essentially for the record labels as opposed to the artists. She's been really vocal about this.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts then on the point that she makes about those artists that are coming out? How is AI and this whole discussion going to affect them?
Well, it's really, really tough to look at the music industry model, how it works right now broadly.
Okay.
So to give you a flavour, there are 100,000 new tracks that are uploaded to streaming sites every single day.
Blimey, 100,000
new tracks.
Okay.
Spotify, to give you a flavour, paid out $9 billion in streaming rights last year on revenues of $16 billion. So most of Spotify's money coming in goes straight back out to artists.
Got it.
The other thing, to bring it down to a more relatable level, in the last few months, we've had Lily Allen say that she makes more money from OnlyFans than she does from her Spotify streaming rights.
She has.
So it's a really tough one in the technological world. Where does the money come from? It comes from the super fans. So my favourite bands, I go and see them live.
Yeah.
I buy the vinyl. I go and see, I get merchandise.
Totally.
I find out more.
Yeah.
So you have to super serve your super fans in order to make it a profitable business. The best at that, Taylor Swift. The
Hands down.
Swifties
Yeah.
they wear identity friendship bracelets. They identify as super Swifties. They are the best kind of fan base in terms of how passionate they are. So before you can really make money in this space now, you have to mobilise a passionate fan base.
So then if we bring back the conversation around AI, and
Yes.
interesting actually, after 4 o'clock I'm going to be joined by a London artist. He himself is really working towards getting more music ownership to artists and
Great.
less being taken away from AI. But if we bring it back to AI, is artificial intelligence a huge threat to singer-songwriters, to musicians and bands? I'm not necessarily referencing the record labels here, the
Yeah.
actual creative artists themselves.
So I think I want my music brought to me by someone with human emotions and
Right.
human feelings.
Yeah.
I think you can't get better than when music goes a bit wrong, when someone's voice breaks because they're so
Yeah.
passionate, when someone smashes a guitar, when
Sure.
someone mixes a track that you've never heard mixed together. Those are the things, and that's what AI won't do. So the human touch is key.
Okay.
The other thing I'd say is showcasing that human touch. So in other industries, there's a business called Books by People for the publishing industry that are looking to create something that rubber stamps books to say this has been produced by a real human. There are podcast platforms that stripped AI created podcasts off their platform recently.
Right.
So we are seeing a bit of a backlash. And I do see something where, even though AI has been used in music for a very long time,
Yeah.
I do see people saying, this track has been created by a real human voice. And I think with all the technological changes, vinyls, CD, back to vinyls,
Yeah.
to streaming, one thing that has kept the same is the fact that we still love bands and we still love music artists. So I do foresee there being a way for music artists to remain profitable and creating content they want to create.
And on that final point then, these more than 1,000 musicians, as we've already mentioned, whether it's Billy Ocean, The Clash, even Bastille's Dan Smith, all coming together, backing this album. And all the profits, by the way, can be donated to the charity Help Musicians. This is what it says. Various artists, is this what we want? The British government must not legalise music theft to benefit AI companies. That's basically the album cover. And then it's got each word is a number for a song. Is this actually going to make any difference?
I think it's got you and I talking about
Sure.
it, along with the newspapers that had a very similar debate last week where all of the front pages of the newspapers were the same on Thursday to talk about their intellectual property, their copyright. I think we are talking about it. And actually, all they're doing, all the musical artists are doing is saying we want something to opt in to stop this happening as opposed to you automatically making us opt out.
I
It's
see.
not a big seismic shift that the musicians are asking. They're not talking about deal structure. That comes further down the line. Right now, it's an argument about principle, and I do think it's one that they can win.
If you'd like to share your thoughts on this, 0800 731 2000 is the number to give me a call. James, it's always a pleasure having you here on Radio London. People can find you on James Erskine, can't they, on X?
X
is it
and Blue Sky, yeah.
Yes, lovely. And I look forward to speaking to you very soon.
Nice one. Thank you, Shay.